Hey, this is Beccarella, and I am here to talk about portals and paranormal, and wish you all, first of all, a wonderfully beautiful Tuesday. There, my coffee cup. Coco Kelly, yay! I've had this forever. What little bit I get, I accidentally dumped it all out earlier. But anyway, let me finish it. Cappuccino. Anyway, yeah, I was thinking about portals. And can people also, you hear like mirrors can be portals and different things. I had an experience like that. But can people themselves be portals? I say that because it seems like sometimes the paranormal things have been sort of drawn into me, plus even just when I close my eyes, it's like sometimes I can see like a portal, like where I see places from. So I don't know. But like most of my stories start out, it started over in Deutschland. The first place that we had over there. Now, I was starting to do meditations once or twice a day. Do I necessarily think that you have to do that to have paranormal experiences? No. I think that it sometimes brings in things because, like especially if you're talking about spirits and ghosts and things, I think they notice that the light or whatever you bring in when you do things like that. But this place was already a bit, I think it had already like spirits and ghosts in there. So that's the place where I was looking over at the side, and I was totally awake. I looked over to the side. I always had a chair over there where I, would put the clothes and stuff. And I saw a little girl in the chair, and she looked like she was like 4 or 6 years old, somewhere in that. Little blonde girl. She had clothes like where she could have been, I don't know. Not necessarily in our time, maybe the 1930s, 40s, maybe earlier, I don't know. And she was doing what a lot of little kids do. And she was actually facing sort of away a little bit, and she wasn't looking at me. It's just like she was just there, and she was sitting in the chair, and she was bouncing up and down, and she couldn't sit still or something, like a lot of little kids. So, and that building, I think, it was a nice brick building. There was an upper floor, which we had, and then there was a bottom floor of the house, which was another apartment. And the house could have been back from the 1930s, 40s, or 20s, or whatever. But it could also just be the area, too. So, who knows? Or maybe the people can be portals, and I and I am one. I've heard that before. I didn't just make that up, and I'm not just saying, look at me, I'm a portal. As a matter of fact, I don't know if that would be something I would really, really want or not. Yeah, I had and one of the experiences I had in that house, reason I was talking about mirror, you always hear mirrors or portals, be careful around mirrors and things like that. I woke up one night, and again, awake, and I all of a sudden was out of my body. Yes, out of body experience. And I was pulled into the mirror. And I noticed that the mirror wasn't just, and it was our mirror. It wasn't just like a mirror from the place, It was a mirror that his parents had given to us. And the mirror, I saw the mirror was a tunnel. And of course I wanted to go exploring, because that's always a good idea, right? Maybe not. But I went into the mirror, which all of a sudden was like a long hallway or tunnel. And as I was floating down it, it's like I heard echoing voices and stuff, like people were talking somewhere. I was going this way, and I could tell somebody was coming back from this way, and I'm like, whoa, this really is like a gateway. It was kind of wonderful, but, and I'm sure that good things could be in there too, but maybe not so good. So I'm like, well, I don't know where the echoing voices are coming from, and I don't know if they are positive or negative. Maybe I should go back. That's just what I did. And it was dimly lit in there. It wasn't like really bright, but it wasn't like dark either. It was sort of like what you would see if you were in like inside of a building in a tunnel. Yeah. And it was so, I guess, obviously both positive and negative things could come from there. But anyway, I didn't want to go exploring any further, so I went back. And then you say people can be portals, maybe. Mirrors can be portals. So can places like houses be portals. Yeah, so I think I mentioned before, maybe in another video or somewhere, I'm not sure, where I was saying that before the house was built there, we had the house built there. It was off my ex-in-laws' land. They deeded a certain other, like they had like an acre and a half, 2 acres, I don't know. They deeded some of it to us. We had the house built, but before we had come along, they supposedly said in the middle of the night one night, there was some kind of alien or spacecraft there. I don't know if that's true or not, because, you go, huh. But anyway, maybe, I don't know. Something was up with that place where they built the house. Because that house wasn't like any other. That house had like, you hear like houses, this house I had like a character. It was so alive. That's all I can say. I really loved that house. Still take it back. I would still take it back today. I love the house. I was so always excited being in that house, having our own house, and all that. Never did I say, oh my God, I got to get away from this house. There were instances where I wanted to get away from situations, maybe, but now, not the house. The house was, yeah, you would just have to go there. Plus all the meditations and stuff. We had a meditation prayer room. It just all added to the house, I'm sure. But anyway, the house was, well, let me say, sometimes I could be upstairs, and this in the middle of the afternoon. Most of the times this happened. My son would come home from school, where he was in grade school, my oldest son at the time, and he would be off at his grandparents' house, which was right next door, doing his homework. I would be upstairs on the computer or whatever. My husband at the time would be at work, so. And I would hear the front door slam. It always seemed to be slamming. It never just seemed to be normal shutting of the door. And I would go downstairs saying, Johannes, which is my oldest son's name, thinking, of course, he came back. Nobody. Crickets. It was totally silent. And that happened. numerous times. So many times I lost track throughout the time I was there at that house. And I saw a shadow figure go through the kitchen one time. Of course, I had so many dream experiences, out-of-body experiences, all kinds of things. Mostly in that house. I mean, I've had them here too, but mostly in that house. It was just, like I said, it was a house like no other. Also, I had, I say also portal for me as people, because in this house, after my late fiance had passed away, I know, the cat in the background. Anyway, what are you going to do? My late fiance, when he passed away, I always, and I think I said this in videos before, I always pictured him by me, and I know he was here, and he was actually talking to me, and him. And it was almost like I became sort of like the ghost whisperer lady. I used to love that show. Because it seemed like I would know when a spirit or ghost was here. It seemed like they were coming in, and he would sort of, it was like a joint venture. He would help to take them to the light, and they would be coming to me to tell me like their stories. And then I would say that they should go into the light, and he would take them in the light. But it got to be so, not so good for me, because they were messing with the house. They would, and this is the most of the time where I knew they were here, because they would turn on the TV when it wasn't on. They would turn off the TV when it was on. They would turn up the volume. One time the volume went up so high and I just said, "Stop!" Somehow I knew it was a woman doing that too. And it just stopped as soon as I said that. And also you have where you have it for TV, cable, and all that, and sometimes that would go, like turn to one of the other things. Well, it just got to be too much. It was like a month or two of that, and I got to the point where I didn't even want to be home anymore, and your home's supposed to be your castle, right? And so I said, wait, I can't have this. So I just said, I'm in a reality where that's not happening. And it seemed like the moment I intended that to happen like that, bing, it did. And yes, and by the way, yes, sometimes they turned the volume so low you couldn't hear it, too. And changed channels. I don't know why. It seemed like it was mostly the TV, even though one time the fan was also turned on. It's like creepy. Oh, and one time I got my hair pulled, too. A little girl pulled my hair. So it just got to the point where no. So, all these experiences and stuff, you have to wonder. People can be portals too. I mean, obviously they were drawn to me, it seemed like. But is that because I'm a portal, or because I do meditate and do a lot of light work? I don't know. Maybe I was just allowing them to come in, sort of, accepting it. But just a few thoughts for today. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but yeah. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and as Amelia Earhart may say, over and out.